What is the most embarrassing moment you ever put your parents through? When I was about 3 or 4 years old, my mom had a hammer in her hand and I was about to fall, and her instinct was to reach to help, but she hit my forehead with the back of the hammer. I got a few stitches from a simple accident. At the checkout counter of a grocery store, and the cashier says, "Oh, you poor thing. What happened?" Of course I reply with the truth, my mom hit me in the face with a hammer. This was a story she told me, but I can imagine the embarrassment. When I was like 5, I really wanted some yogurts and would not let my mom get away with no for an answer. When she finally said yes, I started kissing her shoes in gratitude in front of the whole supermarket. She looked like she wanted to die on the spot. Still no idea why I did that. I'm holding in my laughter so hard right now, lmao, this is so funny. Shouting across a shop to my dad asking if he still needed hemorrhoid cream. As a joke, of course. Zing.
I was old enough to know how to read, but somehow not old enough to know what a penis was. One day while at the meat section of the grocery store, I saw a package, no pun intended, labeled bull penis, that made my sister point and laugh. I wanted in on the joke, so I asked my mom what a penis was. She wouldn't answer, so I just kept raising my voice until I was screaming throughout the grocery store, "Mom, what's a penis?"
I really hope you're a female.
I am. LOL. This doesn't make sense in English, but I'll try to translate it. I lived in Bosnia earlier, where it's normal for parents to beat their kids. Now there is one important Bosnian word. Silabati, rape. It has the word Zilla, force, in it. I understood the word as using force, or beating. When I was 4, I went shopping with my mom. I was somehow annoying her, and she threatened me with a beating, well, actually just spanking, when we get home. I then screamed, as loud as possible, "Why do you have to rape me every day?" The whole supermarket was quiet for a couple of seconds. Didn't get spanked when we got home. Looking back at it, it's pretty funny. I was about 4, my mom took me to Walmart to do some grocery shopping. While looking at some clothes, I was sitting in the cart, and there was a few people around, and I yell out, "You! Mommy, you stink, did you fart?" My mom told me she went home to my father and told him he wouldn't believe what his daughter did today.
I was 7 and had broken my hand. We went to the hospital and in comes the doctor. She introduces herself as the doctor that will be taking care of me. I quickly state to everyone in earshot, "Women can't be doctors." My mother was mortified and quickly set me straight on that matter. My daughter was confused that men could be doctors after an accidental lifetime of me taking her to women pediatricians. We've come full circle. My mom and her friend went to a restaurant and I tagged along. I was probably about 4 years old. The waiter came to the table to give us our drinks, and he left to give us time to decide what we wanted to order. My mom began gossiping with her friend about how handsome the waiter was and noticed he didn't have a ring on his finger. My mom was single at the time. He came back to the table to take our orders, and apparently I just blurted out, "Are you married? My mom likes you." There were people sitting around us who heard me and they looked in our direction. The waiter played it off cool and laughed and joked around with us, but she said that she had never felt more embarrassed before. I don't really remember this encounter, but my mom tells me the story all the time. I was at a summer camp and we had a drug counselor come in and give us a typical drugs are bad MK speech. He gets to the part about nicotine and cigarettes. Well, my dad was a smoker, so naturally I raised my hand. My dad does drugs. Cue an awkward pause from the guy and several rumors flying around town. It didn't help that my dad was a judge. It blew over quickly. In the end, I did learn that my dad and mom, who is a damn hypocrite about pot, used to get together with 2 other couples, smoke a joint, drink beer and play Atari back in the 70s before me and my sister were born. I was at some event with my dad when I was 10 where there was a guy who brought along bugs and snakes and stuff to show off to the kids at the event for educational purposes. So the guy pulls out a cockroach and says something like the cockroach farts up to 200 times a minute or something crazy like that. That's when I turn to my dad and go, "Hey, that sounds just like you, Dad." When I was about 4, I marched right up to a woman of color at the bank and said, "Wow, your skin is brown. My mommy's skin is peach." I thought I was just demonstrating my impeccable knowledge of colors. I didn't understand why my mom hurried me away while apologizing profusely. They used to talk about politics a lot at home, and I don't know exactly what I understood wrong, but when I was like 3, I told all my classmates that my parents were fascists. Other parents found out and told my parents. They still laugh about it to this day.
When I was a little girl, I had a nanny who was a delightful lush. What my parents didn't know was she was bringing me to her old lady friends, where I learned how to make their Blood Marys. I enjoyed talking with the old ladies and sang songs for them. Didn't tell my parents because I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Due to my love of old ladies, I would frequently start up conversations with them. Ask them how old they were, what their weight was. My mom was mortified each time. Some old ladies found me charming, other old ladies did not.
One time when my mom was taking me home from the kindergarten, we took the bus. I had a sit and my mom stood beside me and I hugged her. The thing is that I was reaching her ass perfectly and I didn't feel her panties. Who knew thongs existed? So I asked her with a low voice if she has panties on. Of course she didn't hear a thing, so she said that I should speak louder. So I yelled for the whole bus to hear, "Mommy, are you wearing panties?" When I was 5, I wanted those baby bottle candy things, but my mom said no. So I tried to stuff it in my pocket, but I got caught by the cashier and she yelled at me. My mom was shocked and the manager came out and spoke with me. The manager was nice and spoke with my mom, but my mom was freaking out and hiding her face from everything. When I was 16, my dad came to his first ever Thanksgiving with my family. Me being me, I put one of those fart things on his seat with barbecue sauce. He got so embarrassed, and I was laughing my ass off in the other room. So my mom is estranged from most of her extended family. We were going to a wedding for her brother where most of this family was present. I was 5 or 6. My parents were taking me around to introduce me to people at the reception, and we ran into my mom's estranged aunt. Naturally, the first thing I say is, "Are you mean, Aunt Joan? You don't seem that mean." Like, comment, and share. Reddit Story Topper. Subscribe now.